Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome in to another edition of the Deportes Nation live at night. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You can't see us yet officially to another edition, but trust me, they tell me we're there. I'm Alex Parra. You'll see me shortly. Norma Morales beside me. I don't know how she does this. It must be community service for you, Norma, right? That's the only way they allow you to be next to me. So there's the big reveal. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Alex. There's Norma. Norma, how are you and good evening?
Good evening, Alex. How did you know I had to get my community service in? I got to meet those hours.
Yeah, the constables came by my house today, Norma, and we're talking all about it. How are you on this Friday, Norma? I see you excited. So you're happy because it's your last night working with me, or you've had a few drinks? Happy hour.
It's Friday. It's happy hour. Yeah.
Speaking of that, salud. It's not alcoholic, but this is as much as I drink. How are you, Norma? You all right? It's been a good week. We're hanging in there, Norma.
It's been a good week. It's been a very busy week, I should say, but it's been a good week. So, so far so good.
I am happy, Norma, that it is Friday. I know that we all need, especially in these days, right, a little time to reflect, to think. For many of us, though, one day leads to another, and then another, and it's hard for us to frankly, to know what day it is and how to manage COVID and the world we currently live in. And we'll be talking about that in a little while. Norma, help me out here. How do we share? That whole thing? Uncle Alex, for 8 minutes, every show has to figure out how to share things. So be patient with me. And Norma, let's see. We've done really well in our audience. It took a bit of a hit yesterday. I think it was because we weren't talking about strippers. We're going to talk about strippers today. So maybe that might help Norma get our numbers back up. We have to be honest. It's a work in progress. So we need to start sharing, right, Norma? Are we sharing? I'm sharing. I'm about to share.
I already shared mine. Do you remember how to share?
I don't know, Norma. My parents asked me that my parents ask me that every day. Do you know how to share with your brothers?
Do you know how to share? Yeah.
No, I'm not really sure how to share. By the way, do you have siblings, Norma? We've talked about this, haven't we? Not on the air?
I have two.
You're the oldest. Well, no, You're the oldest of four.
No.
No?
I'm actually I'm the youngest of two.
You're the baby of three.
Can you hear?
I have problems. I have a lot of problems, Norma.
Wait, we got a shout out. It says Hola mi gente from Alice Contreras is watching right
Alice,
now.
Well, thank you, Alice. Obviously, this must be a very boring Friday night for you, so we appreciate you joining us. Have a drink on us, Norma. Alice, thank you for joining us. Is Alice one of your peeps, Norma? All we have here is Norma's peeps.
Yeah. That's the only way for us to get ratings, right? Is for me to share it and have my peeps on.
I have a feeling you're going to ask for more money when your contract's up, Norma.
Oh, really? There's money involved? I didn't know
No, that's the big reveal. This is again community service, Norma.
Service.
I'm trying to be nice to you, but it really is one of those things where I'm going to try one more thing here before we get going, Norma, and see if people actually tune in live. Again, I am just learning this, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's riveting to watch me playing with my phone, but you know what? We're giving it a shot, and I'm being told, Norma, that we should be live on 3 platforms: on YouTube, on Twitter, Periscope, and on the Facebook, the Book of the Face. So hopefully that's the truth, and you, ladies and gentlemen, can enjoy the show. Why are we doing it at night, Norma? We decided maybe this is a time where people can be a little bit maybe more settled into their routine. What is your schedule these days, Norma? I find myself, I sleep very little, but I find myself kind of getting up earlier, but staying up later. If you can share with us, I don't want to know the intimacy of where and how you sleep, but when do you sleep, Norma? If you sleep.
I do sleep, but I notice I sleep a little later than usual. And like around 10 o'clock, I'm in my bed looking at usually, but of course we're doing this show. I'm usually in bed looking at my social media, doing some last tweets. Of course, I manage other accounts as well. So technically, I'm still working if he at 10 o'clock at night.
Working.
Doing my social media stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, working.
I'm not sure what your idea of working is, Miss Norma, but I want your life. That's all I want to know.
Yeah, we got some shout outs. We got more shout outs, Alex.
Well, again,
More
people must be.
people are watching.
They're not at the disco this evening. Apparently, they're hanging with us, and we really do appreciate it. Our audience is growing. Again, it's not just your mom and my mom, so that's good. As much as we love our mothers, right?
We have Alvina and Randy Galvan says hello from Georgetown, Texas. See, all my peeps are out there.
All your Georgetown, Texas peeps. What is you went to Georgetown High School, Norma? Can I say that?
You already did, so
Okay, I
why
guess
do you ask?
Well,
Yeah,
what is your
you
mascot?
asked
What is the
everybody.
Georgetown mascot?
Eagles.
The eagle. That's kind of boring. But these days, you've got to be very politically correct, so maybe it is a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah. No,
Hey, by the way, you
Eagles.
mentioned Georgetown, and the ratings just dropped, Norma. We lost 5 people like that. Gone.
We did, didn't we?
We did. Let's not talk about you or anything about Georgetown. So that we can hopefully get through it. So, Norma, let me see. Tonight we wanted to talk about several things. I think actually I've been asked also to roll our little open again. I think this is really good, Norma.
The open.
Yeah, that's as
What's
good
that?
it's also as good looking as I get. So, photoshopped. You can hear me, but you don't have to necessarily see the real Alex Parra. So, I'm very excited about that part of it. But Norma, I did want to kick off. First of all, is there anyone else you want to invite into the show? This is your time, Norma. Anybody else you want to retweet or like or share or whatever the terminology is, Norma?
What do you mean? I've already on my own platforms.
Whatever,
Is that what you're
Norma.
asking?
You're all over the place on social media. You got thousands of
No.
friends.
I've already shared it. We also have Delia Martinez on. She's saying hi.
She said, "Hola, hi, onion." Is she talking to me?
I think she's talking.
How are you, celery? I don't understand that.
It's an inside joke, Alex.
Hello, tomato.
Refer to-
Hello, tomato. All right.
It's an inside joke.
Okay.
Alvina said our pictures look good. I know I look good for sure. I love that picture.
I have no doubt. No, you know, and that was like from 8 years ago. And again, it was right after the Botox. So, yeah, I say you keep using the picture.
Hey, you know what, Alex?
Yes,
you know
ma'am.
what? You know what the magic is to keep your skin looking young?
Obviously not, but go ahead and help me.
Let me show you. Actually, now that you said that,
Yes.
I'm going to show you a little trick.
Uh-oh.
This right here is
Yeah.
a jade roller.
Oh,
You see
it's-
this? Have you ever? It's a jade. You know the stone jade.
Jade. Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's a jade
And
roller.
what you do, right? You put it in the fridge or freezer for a little bit, let it cool, and you move your skin
Really?
like this, and it moves the circulation. It helps with fine lines. That's why I look so good, Alex.
Is that it? Your jade roller. Norma,
So
can
this is
do they have
the
an
jade
extra, do they have one with extra suction for me, please? Because we need something. Uncle Alex has issues. You know, I'm learning just to accept age, Norma. Don't fight it, Norma. There's very little we can do anyway.
Yeah, there's so much you could do.
So that's why
Alex.
you're glowing. I thought you were pregnant, but it's the jade.
No, I'm not pregnant. Don't spread rumors.
No breaking news. I didn't
Jade
want to.
roller.
Okay, I didn't know. Maybe your family were ready for another little one.
No. It's Norma's. What do you say? How do you say it? Norma's item of the day. You know, something that.
Are
You
we the
want to
Home
invest
Shopping
in.
Network now, Norma? Only 13 left. Send the money now. We're selling.
Give us your credit
We're selling
card
products.
number.
Yeah, please. I will take the credit card number, and we just go ahead and talk it to me. Approved.
Oh, good. We also have Eva Martinez Solis on. She says, "Bam, bam in the house." So we got family. We got a lot of family.
Do you feel pressure right now, Norma? Because any little
No.
wrong, any little slip, Norma, and you're going to be chastised for what you say. They won't invite you to a
I'm
Thanksgiving
comfortable.
dinner, Norma, if you're not careful.
Well, you know what? At least I get invited, right?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I used to
Yeah.
get a TV dinner, or one of the old school ones, and I'm told to go sit in the garage, and I accept it.
Is it the Hungry Man?
Oh yeah, Norma. Cranberries.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's
And the dressing. You're making me hungry, Norma. By the way, we've peaked. Apparently, your selling of stuff is piquing our audience. So congratulations, Norma. We've got to sell more items like that. What do I have to sell? I have to sell
You
my
don't have
shades.
anything to
This is
sell.
how I am able to see better. That's not going to
Alex,
help anything, is it?
yeah, you got to get a new one. That was yesterday's. Now
That
you're
was
trying to sell the
yesterday's.
same product.
Well, let's get on with the show, Norma. God, I look old, Norma. Yeah, I'm just looking at myself. Maybe I shouldn't look at myself.
Well, you know what? Maybe you have time. You've got 2 more days till Father's Day.
Yes,
Maybe you tell your family they'll get you a jade roller.
I'm getting one now.
And then we could do like a split image of what you looked before, what you looked after.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's no hope, Norma. There's very little. Just put a bag over my head. That's the best thing. We go back to our picture. Norma, we wanted to kick off a little bit today and start, I guess, with maybe not great news, not bad news, but real news. As you know, we're under the COVID-19 world that we live in. And there's a lot of sports teams, Norma, at many levels, at the professional level, the NHL. Today, a team shut down their training. We have the NFL also reporting that there are players that are testing positive for COVID. There's every league is preparing to come back and to participate in sports. And I get it. It's part of what we have to do as a society. I think, Norma, we're at the point where it's just going to be natural and normal that people test positive. I personally don't think, Norma, we're headed toward another shutdown where we're literally just going to say, that's it, we're done. I think we're going to have to slowly get to the point in time maybe where we're accepting that these things are going to happen and we deal with them. I don't know what your take on it is, Norma, but I also want to hear from you, ladies and gentlemen, about how you feel about this current situation. And the truth is, Norma, we're living in a COVID-19 world. Our world as was has changed. We have to adapt.
Yeah, Alex, I was reading today. I mean, there was a 49ers player that tested positive. You had some San Francisco Giants that tested positive. You had Houston Astros that was breaking today,
Sure.
tested positive. So, yeah, I mean, it seems like usually you would hear maybe one every other day, maybe, but it seems like every other hour we're hearing someone else that becomes positive, and also even locally. Within the area that we live in, you hear people are testing positive and how results are coming in, of course, and numbers are going and increasing. So, it feels like more people are going into. That's the hard part, Alex. More people are testing positive, and then you're thinking, okay, well, what's going to happen? Am I
Right.
going to get it next? To me, it's scary just because of the fact, like I said before, I don't want it. I do not want it. But you know what? You never know. I may get it at one point. So.
You never know, Norma. I know that we've talked about how testing is part of our world. And I think the more tests that continue to happen, you're going to have more positive tests, whether it's from one thing or another. Since we did open up in Texas, we know that more people have been obviously socializing, getting together, whether it's sports-related camps, whether it's socially, whether it's at restaurants, whether it's in different places. And logically, the more testing you have, more people are going to test. And Norma, you don't have to have symptoms, and it's not necessarily a negative to get it in the sense of it's a death sentence. It isn't. And I think we've got to give it that context. Again, I'm not a medical professional. I don't pretend to know any more than what we read or what we see. But I think we've got to give it that context. The other part, I think, Norma, of all of this is that eventually we need to learn to manage it. Judge Lina Hidalgo, the Harris County Commissioner, today, along with Mayor Sylvester Turner, came out and said, look, we're really encouraging, maybe more than encouraging, mandating that people continue and wear their masks for another period, I believe until the end of the month of June, because the number of cases in Harris County is increasing. So we've got to find a balance in doing that to try to do it safely. And I think one of the big hurdles that's coming up for at least Houston, Texas, the United States, Norma, is what happens after summer. Do we go back to school?
Yeah, and like we said before, some of the schools are coming out with their calendars.
Yeah.
I know Houston came out with their calendar, their school calendar. They'll be starting, again, if anything changes right now, is what they propose, is they'll be starting at a later date. But again, what happens if it increases? Does that mean they are going to evaluate it and push it back further? Or maybe they say, you know what, instead, maybe we go more on online. But then that goes back to, okay, what about those kids that don't have the internet, that don't
Sure.
have laptops and electronics to do things online? So yeah, it's going to be very interesting, Alex.
Very interesting. We have people protesting in the streets. We have people getting ready for political rallies. And it's not just the rally in Tulsa tomorrow. The Democrats will also have conventions, I imagine, in some form or fashion. And Norma, we're all having to get used to what's next. How much are we willing to risk? How much are we willing to do? This Sunday, Norma, is Father's Day. And I'm excited to spend some time with my family, if they'll have me. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm already celebrating, but I'm all by myself.
But are you going to be invited? I think that's the question, right? Are you going
Well,
to
that's
be
when they give me the
invited to
TV
Father's
dinner
Day?
and put me in the garage, Norma. And I think they do whatever they do in my name. So, but my point, Norma, I was trying to make a point, believe it or not,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Alex.
is that eventually we all have to decide what we're going to risk. On Sunday, typically on Father's Day, many of us would go out to dinner. Many of us would go out to lunch. The question for all of you that may be watching, hopefully you're watching, the ratings are still there, Norma, which is a good thing. I'm begging, aren't I? I'm begging. It's all right. I'm begging, and it's okay. Are you changing your plans because of COVID? Are you having maybe ordering out? Are you making your tamalitos or your pozole at home, or whatever you're going to enjoy? Please, send us a quick little, what is it, Norma? A message, whatever this is.
Send us a message. I mean, it'd be nice to hear back from our followers of, what are their plans, this coming Father's Day. Are they going to kind of be on the DL because of COVID?
Wait. The DL, Norma, help me out here with the lingo. The down
The
low?
down low? Yeah.
Like nice and quiet, just hush hush?
Nice and quiet,
That's
yeah.
dope, Norma. Thank you. I'm learning too, Norma. I'm trying to catch up with the times. My kids make fun of me, but it's okay. Someone said, wow, 13 views. Apparently, we've just skyrocketed, Norma. I'm shocked too, Norma, that anybody's watching.
Yeah.
No, we really do appreciate every one of you that's taking the time, even if it's 5 minutes right before you go off to the disco. We appreciate it. This could be part of your pre-gaming. Right, Norma?
Yeah, the pre-gaming.
This is
and hi to Norma, our one of our fans out there. She's always looking at us, watching us online. So
she
hello
is.
to her. She's watching us.
Norma, I'm sending the wire transfer now to keep you on the payroll. So I just hit send.
Yeah.
You'll have that money in the morning, I hope. If it clears. Norma, so the other thing that today represents, June 19th, 2020, is the celebration of Juneteenth. We don't want to get too political. I certainly don't want to be or pretend to be a historian. Juneteenth actually has ties to Texas and to Galveston. It was in 1865, if I'm not mistaken, where really the news of the Emancipation Proclamation, signed in 1863, made its way to Texas via Galveston, where slaves were actually told, you know what, you don't have to live like this anymore. It's the law now. It's part of our country to be set free. And Juneteenth, I know growing up in Texas and in Houston, it's been celebrated obviously every year. There's been a bit of controversy lately because of President Trump saying he's brought a lot of attention to the Juneteenth holiday. We can have that discussion as well. But more than in many years past, Norma, Juneteenth has taken on a more significant role because of the civil unrest that is existing, the rioting, the problems in Minneapolis, in Atlanta. And I guess, Norma, what's making us do it's reevaluate things such as statues, such as names of what may be considered controversial figures in our past. What are your thoughts, Norma, on this day, Juneteenth, its importance, and I think the need for us to talk about it?
Yeah, no, I think it's an important day, Alex. I mean, the thing is, it's history, and with that, like they're considering this to be also a national holiday. I think it should. That's just my opinion. I think it should. I think that it's part of history. It would actually, for my kids, I'd want them to teach more in regards to what Juneteenth is, so that they can be educated about it. Here in America, what do we celebrate? We celebrate Cinco de Mayo, right? Now it's not a national holiday, but yet people really celebrate it as almost like a holiday here in America. You know, that's where you have the Cinco de Mayo drinks and everything. You have decorations, you have specials, you have parties. It's just celebration, right?
Norma, to me, Cinco de Mayo is not a Hispanic, Mexican, or Latin American holiday of relevance. It's a marketing ploy in the United States to sell us margaritas, to make sure we get that extra Cinco de Mayo T-shirt, and it's okay. I personally am not offended by it, Norma. It's for some people to know. Oh, I've literally had people say to me, "Hey, Happy Independence Day. I'm sure you as a Mexican must be celebrating." And frankly, I don't debate it, but I say, you know what? Hey, enjoy your margarita, and I'll talk to you soon. It's an excuse to market in this country. That's the perspective I give it. It's not the end of the world, Norma, but I think you've got to look at it that way.
Yeah. And the thing is, if we're celebrating that, why are we not celebrating Juneteenth as a whole and
Sure.
unite, you know, and celebrate that history and celebrate that? But yet we're celebrating Cinco de Mayo. No, nothing against Cinco de Mayo, y'all. I love it too. I love the margaritas when they're available.
I've seen you, Norma, with those big ones with the 3 straws. Oh, it's gone. What happened?
I'm just saying, like, hey, we should make it a national holiday. You know, I think so. That's just my opinion.
I agree with you, Norma. It's good to, well, again, history changes, Norma. I think one of the things that gets lost in all of this is that we continue evolving as a culture. I'm going to say something, and again, maybe it's controversial, maybe it isn't, Norma. I remember back in the day when they used to talk about Hispanics, Latinos, and call us minorities. And to me, it was always laughable because everywhere I went in Texas, in different parts of the Southwest, I didn't see a minority of Latinos. We were, and now continue to be, and are a growing number. I'm not offended by that. I wasn't hurt by that, but it's funny how our nation continues to evolve, and this change is natural. It's necessary. And Norma, I'm going to say it. It's good. It's not a threat to who we are. It's okay to bring change to our country, accept it, and be better for it, in my opinion.
Right.
So
Right.
that's the take I give it. Norma, do me a favor, Norma. Make sure we're still on Facebook. You guys let us know. It seems something's kind of acting kind of funny, but maybe it's just Uncle Alex not figuring out how to do this thing. Very, very likely.
It's that side margarita that you're drinking.
Yeah.
No,
by the way.
we're
Salud.
on, Alex.
Okay,
We're on.
Norma. Well, let me shift gears here, Norma, because I want to make sure that those of you that are watching can interact with us. Please let us know what you think of our first 2 topics: COVID-19. The other is Juneteenth. But let's go, Norma, to what we call our top 5, and I want to start with you, Norma. We're calling our top 5 sports songs or music. Top 5 sports songs or music. And again, because I am a gentleman, I know that's hard to believe. We're going to give Ms. Norma Morales the first crack at this. So Norma, hit us with your top 5, please.
Yeah, my top 5 songs. So let's see.
You can start with number 5 or start with number 1 or number 3. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'm going to start with number 5. Again, I just get a little bit delayed on my end. So, okay, there it goes. So I would say number 5 is Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne.
I didn't know you were into heavy metal, Norma. I'm shocked. Good job.
That's a great song, especially you're at a sporting event. It just makes you more excited, right? So
Yeah, either that or more caffeine.
Number 4, Eye of the Tiger. Come on, that's the song. With Survivor in 1982. YMCA's number 3 with the Village People, 1978. Number 2, We Are the Champions with Queen at 1977. And again, you can't go wrong with Queen again with We Will Rock You in 1977. That's my number 1.
Your number 1, We Will Rock You. Norma, and by the way, you're stuck in the late 70s, early 80s.
I know. I just realized that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No diversity, Norma. You're just stuck in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Let's see what yours is, Alex, since you feel like you're more diverse in it. So let's see what you got.
Well, I don't know if I'm more diverse. And look, we don't compare notes. I think you send in your list to the producer. I send in my list to the producer, and then we come up with this reality. So let me hit you now with Alex's Top 5 sports songs. Let's go with number 5, Norma. Chariots of Fire. Do you remember this movie back in 1981? Vangelis, they're running on the beach.
I wasn't born yet.
You was
Maybe
okay.
not.
Well, that's part of the problem right there. That's my number
I'm
5.
kidding.
Number 4, Norma. We all love to sing Neil Diamond's "Sweet Caroline" at a sporting event, don't we? Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Help me out,
That's more
Norma.
of a-
Nothing.
That's more of a baseball song. For
Okay,
me.
but
Yeah.
it is a
But
song that we
it's a
all
sports
follow,
song.
right?
Yeah.
The Rocky theme. We were talking about Rocky, the inspirational movie. Sylvester Stallone. That you hear that and even I want to go exercise, Norma. So that's got to mean something. I'm a soccer guy, Norma, as you know, and I'm a big Ricky Martin fan. Trust me. La Copa de la Vida. Remember for the '98
Yes.
World Cup in France? This was the official song. I was very excited about that. And then going back to my punk roots, Norma, Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. Hey ho, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a good one.
Okay, so I think it's a great one, Norma. It's not just
Yeah.
a good one. I think it's fantastic.
No, well, Alex, remember that's your list. Just because you think it's great doesn't mean that everybody thinks it's great.
What do you think? Let's not listen to Norma right now. Let's listen to the rest of you. Give us, in writing, send us a little message about what would be your top sports-related songs, sports-related music. It could be from movies. It could be in stadium. It could be something motivational. Norma, do you whenever you do work out, whenever that is, do you use music to kind of motivate you and pump you up?
Yes, I do.
So
You know what? That's the only thing. In order for me to work out, I have to have music. If I don't, I feel like I can't work out. I've
I
got
get
to have
it.
something in my ear.
I get it. Well, I usually hire a group of mariachis to help me out, to get me out of bed and then get me to the gym. So it's really expensive when I walk into the gym with the mariachis behind me. But trust me, I am pumped for at least an hour and a half, Norma.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. You don't believe me, do you? I don't
No,
understand.
I do believe you. I do believe you.
You do
I'm
believe
sure
me.
you do. Yeah.
Let's see,
I'm sure
Norma,
you're a real mariachi group.
Has anyone chimed in to give us their favorite music for sports? Play the game with us, please. Don't make me beg again. They're making me beg again.
Yeah, give us your favorite song.
Give us, and again, I'm a big YMCA guy too, Norma. I mean, the Village People. I was almost a Village person, Norma, but they already had an Indian-looking guy. So, did I just offend someone? I just offended
You
somebody.
probably did.
I know I did. I know I
The
did.
Cha-Cha Slide's a good one, Alex.
Excuse me?
The Cha-Cha Slide.
You think? That's for the little
What
kids,
do you
no?
mean? No, it's not. Come on, Alex.
I'm not that hip and happening, Norma.
You're not that hip and happening.
No. So, anyway, if you guys have a thought on this 5 favorite or your favorite sports song, please send it our way, Norma. The other thing we wanted to talk about, and Norma, we maybe we'll jump a little bit out of order, but I know that you all week, and this is our debut week, by the way, Norma. So I want to thank all of you that have followed us. Continue to follow us. We've been very quiet on the DL, as Norma says. I'm learning. You like that? Trying to figure out the right time, the right kind of presentation. We're excited about the concept that we're throwing out here of Deportes Nation at night, and we want your help as well, your support in watching and putting up with us. But a few days ago, Norma, you brought something to my attention that I really wasn't too sure about. In this day of COVID, obviously you have to wear masks. There are places where you wear masks, places where you should or shouldn't. If you're in public now, we're being told, at least in Harris County, you should wear your masks. And Norma, I know you talked about strippers, adult entertainers. Was that the right phrase?
Yeah, that's yes.
Okay,
That's
so
the
I
phrase
went undercover, Norma. I'm just showing you some video of
and
the research.
By the way, just so people know, I have not seen this, so I'm not sure.
This is
what the
my
producer-
this is my special camera.
I'm a little scared.
No, this is I was able to shoot this. I had a camera in my glasses, and this is some of the video that I was able to shoot, just so that you know, so that was me doing the research, Norma. That was me trying to find out exactly what was happening. Wait, oh, hold on. No, this is, I don't know how this got in there. Can't be my video, Norma. So, okay, no, I didn't. Well, I didn't go to this place. I don't know how that got there. I promise you, that's not my video, Norma. Something must be wrong. But I did find, Norma, a place that did have strippers with masks on. So
You did?
yes, I'm showing now on the screen.
Okay.
Someone else went to this particular place, but I think you can now see them with the masks. So
Okay.
this I think will give you the value you were looking for, and hopefully answer your question, Norma. How do strippers deal with this? So just so that you know, this is the way the masks are now being worn. Norma, I know that
Oh, is that how the masks are being worn now?
that's my understanding,
Okay.
Norma, and keeping your distance. But
Yeah,
again,
that would kind of freak me out a little, Alex. I think I'd be a little.
I didn't go to the last couple of videos, Norma. I don't know where that came from. It wasn't my camera.
I know. Like, how did that come up? Of course, it's your research, right?
Norma, we're trying to do our best in this show.
Or is this a real video? I don't know.
It's undercover video that Uncle Alex shot, Norma. But I hope that answers your question, ladies and gentlemen. No,
About the mask, right?
no. And what does Norma Solis say? Alex, don't be jealous. I am a little jealous, but that's just the way it goes. Norma, by the way, we're either gonna blow up with the audience, or we just lost the 38 people that were following us. So it's one or the other. I can't tell at this point.
You can't say we. Now what you're doing is when we lose followers, you include me. Why?
Well, because it's your fault. That's just the way it's gonna be. That's just the way it has to be. So I wanted to throw that in there, Norma, just to make sure that we're following up to what was brought up earlier in the week. So what are your thoughts, Norma? Did you do any more research on that topic, or do you think since we've blown now our audience, we should stop talking about it?
I think you've done enough research. I think you've kind of answered all my questions that I was asking on Monday. So
Yeah.
I think you've answered.
So I guess the question or my response to that is you're welcome, Norma. I was able to help you out, and you feel better about it. And obviously we're joking, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take it so seriously. But Norma, every walk of life, every profession has to adjust to this new world, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a different normal, I guess I should say. I mean, even going to the store when I've got to go, of course, I'm getting used to now seeing people with masks. You know, before when you saw one or two people with a mask, you're like, why are they wearing a mask? Oh, something must be wrong medically, you know? But now it's just the norm. Now I'm looking up different types of masks, some with maybe some design. It's now become a fashion. If you notice online, you can get some that with the sports logo. You can get some. You can even mark it for yourself. And
Sure.
we could even get some and have Deportes Nation on it, you know.
Ding, 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 ding. Good idea, Norma.
Yeah, or, you know, there's a lot of things you could do. It's now part of fashion, I should say, in some ways of different masks that you could get. But, of course, the most important is to help with COVID is what we need to look at as well.
Yeah.
Not
So
just
so
us,
well,
but-
you know, let's do our part, Norma. I think when we're out there in public, I think it's the right thing to do, and I don't think there's a big debate about it. I think there are some people that will literally just kind of shy away from it, and again, let's also respect those that choose not to do it. I think the medical research, Norma, tells us that the logic tells us that if you're not passing on those germs to others, you can't contaminate others, and if you're a carrier, do your part. And none of us for sure know, but I think it's logical that we would do something like that, Norma. So anyway,
Yeah. And not
yes,
only
ma'am.
that, Alex, not only just masks, but like make sure you use your hand sanitizer. That's important. I'm addicted to that stuff. You know, just always. I guess now before, I always used it, but now it's like you're constantly using it every time. You know, when you go to the store, when you get out of the store, when you touch the doorknobs, after your groceries, you know, it's more hand sanitizer used. For me, I know than usual. So.
You have a lot of addictions, Norma, and apparently that's one of them. But you know, the first step to recovery is admitting that you have a problem.
I do have a problem.
So,
Sorry.
by the way, Uncle Alex has a lot of problems. So we'll see if we can get those problems fixed.
And there's a only an hour show, Alex, so we can't go through all.
Yeah, there's too many issues to deal with, so I get it. Norma, I did want to talk about another little subject, which is the media. Some of us I tend to watch different networks to get my quote unquote news. It's not just one network, but I like to think that we're looking at different points of view. CNN, Fox News tend to be the most, I guess the right word is legitimate, if you will, most watched and viewed. MSNBC, is that what it's called? There's a couple of other networks, Norma.
Right.
I won't name them all. And there's some networks, in my opinion, Norma, that are there to have agendas. And my point in bringing this up this evening is, where are we supposed to be? I think the word of journalism has disappeared. Journalists don't exist anymore. They're entertainers. I don't want to pretend that I am a journalist. I think we're trying to be entertaining to people. We bring up, again, we try to do our research as best we can. But research, Norma, these days is looking up something on Wikipedia, which isn't necessarily fact.
Right.
With our news cycle and the amount of information that we're hit with, anything can be news. Anything can be grabbed and distorted and molded to fit a certain narrative. My point is, Norma, what are we supposed to do as individuals that are being hit from the left, from the right, especially in an election year, about what we should think and what we should do? Literally, these networks, and we just rolled video, Norma, can look at the same event and look at it completely different, which tells you what? That there's no person being objective, number one, and number two, that they have an agenda, clearly. And look, I sometimes see some things in one network versus another, or a third or a fourth. I almost wish this, Norma, that in this country we had a third party. Not only the Democrats, not only the Republicans, but I guess maybe an independent that was viable, that was actually able to win elections. That doesn't really exist. So I'll be quiet now, Norma, and listen to you.
Yeah, Alex, I mean, you see both sides, right? And you with social media, with looking at the news, et cetera, you think, okay, well, whose side is really the right side? And for me, I think it's about really doing your own research. Don't rely on just one source. It's really looking more in depth of more sources rather than just Fox or CNN, et cetera. And I thought about this the other day, Alex, is that, I remember growing up, I don't remember.
That was a long time ago, Norma. You remember that far back?
I do. I'm only 21, Alex. Come on.
Yes, of course.
I'm talking about when
thanks to that little roller. I need one of those.
Back when I was a teenager. But, I was trying to remember, I don't remember a lot of big political stuff, But, with now these days, of course, we have more social media. We have more technology. You don't have to wait. I remember in even high school or junior high, even starting of college, we didn't have our cell phones. We could just go ahead and we're sitting in class waiting for the professor to come in to look up and Google things, We'd have to wait till we get home to watch TV. We had to wait till we get behind a computer that took 20 hours just to do dial-up, right?
Oh, I remember. I love dial-up, Norma. I remember fax machines. They were beautiful. It changed my life.
Yeah, so I think with us having all this technology now, it's now opening up everybody's eyes of what's going on in this world and listening to different views from one side to the other. And my biggest thing is just really researching and really trying to find the facts so that you can make the right decision or think for yourself of what you think is right and what you think is wrong. That's just what I'm thinking.
Norma, I for once agree. I think we need to have a little bell to say ding, ding, ding.
Agree?
We agree on something.
I don't have a bell.
Norma, my advice, and it's not solicited advice, my perspective is, you know what? Think for yourselves. The person that just blindly says, oh yeah, I agree with that, and finds that narrative reinforced day in, day out through a news channel, to me that's doing a disservice to democracy. All of these channels pretend to say, no, we need First Amendment rights, we need to talk, and we have the liberty to talk. That's great. But then respect each other, number one. And second, allow others who are thinking differently to also find a way to research and think, and don't chastise them for that. It really is, you're either with me or you're against me. What kind of mentality is that? Be respectful that maybe someone else has actually done more research, has actually looked at things from a different perspective than yours and may actually bring something to the table to make you think and even change your mind. So that's where I think we've become so sensitive and so close-minded, Norma, that we can't accept certain things. You're either with me or you're against me. If you're not agreeing with everything I say, it's time to fight. And that is a dangerous road, in my opinion, Norma.
Yeah, and Alex, going back to what I said earlier in regards to doing your own research, but asking questions.
Sure.
It's okay to ask questions. Well, why is this? Well, why is that? Even if you go to, some kind of at a conference or whatever, even at your own work, and things are happening, don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's the only way you're going to be able to find answers.
And I think the problem, forgive me, Norma, for interrupting you. The problem with that is there are some.
I'm used to
you're
that,
used to
Alex.
that. I know. I'll send you another $1 for the interruption.
Go ahead.
There are some people that don't know how to approach it, and they're. What's interesting is I do notice a lot of frustration, Norma. So something must be brewing. Disenchantment must be brewing. And again, it's the old adage. And here's where I'm a little bit more conservative, Norma. Our government should work for us, and our government shouldn't dictate to us. Yes, we need government programs. Yes, people need help. But it should be us guiding that process versus entrenched parties controlling what we say or do for their own interest. And again, I know that's a lot in the sense of late night talking about strippers and then suddenly talking about political parties. But hopefully it's something that can make us think about things. And again, I don't pretend to be right, Norma. I don't pretend to be wrong. But in this country, we have a responsibility with democracy, which is to think, like you said, to do our research. And then the ultimate thing is to vote and participate in the process.
No, I agree. That's the biggest thing. If you want to say or some input, please vote. That's very important.
Absolutely, Norma. And look, I don't want to say that we as a community don't care enough, but there are a lot of people that aren't even registered to vote, especially young people. They like to complain and bitch about things, but hey, that's someone else's problem. And well, that's them. That's those crazy old people. It isn't like that. It's about us. And young people soon will find out, especially when they start paying taxes, Norma, that it's really about them.
Yeah, no, I agree, Alex. And that's the thing is, I don't know how it is in high school now. I don't know if they really educate those kids, especially the seniors that are about to be, of course, adults, to let them know how important it is to vote. I'm sure they do. I have been out of high school for not that long.
About 38 years, Norma. By the way, do you go back, Norma, to your high school or college reunions? Is that a thing you're into?
I've been to one.
Okay. How did it go for you? Were you happy? Were you let down? Was it everything you expected?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still look the same, everybody, and it was nice to see everybody and their family or their husbands and
or their wives, right? There were surprises.
Yeah, wives, I mean, it's great. I've only been once. I think the times that they've had reunions, I was always on vacation or was unable to go, but there was one year I was able to go to one. So it's always good to go.
I've never been to one, and I don't think I would. To me, it's kind of nostalgic in one way, but it's part of the past. And again, I just brought it up, Norma. You mentioned you've been out of high school for about 38 years and out of college for about 35 years. So, but anyway, some people literally religiously keep track. Well, I went to my 5th, my 10th, my 20th, my 30th. And when they start counting those down, and by the way, we're losing more of us.
Maybe because it's getting late. Maybe it's 10:45, Alex. Maybe people are saying like, it's Friday.
I think you just lost us, the audience, Norma.
I think it's the bars are starting to close more.
I think people are heading out, Norma, right now. It's 10:45. It's time to go to the disco.
What? Do you know what? Well, yes. Back in the day, Alex, I'm sure you had those days, and this is the time where you started getting ready and be like, okay, it's time to go.
Getting ready, Norma. Come on. Getting ready.
The night started beginning like around 11. Like you're at the disco starting at 11.
I also went through that period of urban cowboy, Norma, where I would go out to the country bars.
I could not see you go to a country bar.
No? Come on.
No.
They, they called me El Chavo, Norma, with my little hat, and I would show up and do the quebradita. You don't remember that?
Yeah.
And the lambada and the quebradita, Norma. That was me.
At the country bar?
At the country bars. And usually they turn to me and say, "Sir, can I get another beer, please?" They thought I worked there.
No, I'm sure they would have said you were probably doing the tables or something else, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Excuse me, sir. Can I get my car, please? I gotta go. Like, I don't work here, man. It's happened, Norma. It's happened. But it's a life lesson. I take it as a positive, not a negative. So let's see, Norma. Before we wrap up, I know we talked a little bit about what's coming up for some of us this weekend, and I like my little animations here, Norma. But it's Feliz Día del Padre on Sunday. Are you excited, Norma, about celebrating this? We'll do it in English too, in case you missed it. Happy Father's Day. But what are your thoughts, Norma? I think it's always great to celebrate Daddy's Day.
Yeah, it's a great day. What we're doing is we're planning. It's supposed to rain, of course, is what I was told. So probably gonna stay in and probably order in and relax, maybe watch some movies. I think that's what my husband wants to do for his Father's Day. So that's what we're gonna do.
I think we should have a month-long celebration for Father's Month.
Hold on. The beginning of the week,
Yes.
you said you're going to have a Father's Day week. Now
Yes.
you're extending it to a month?
Yeah, I think that's logical.
Oh.
Fathers should be celebrated more, and since I'm a father now, 10 times over, I think it's good.
You're at diva status now, Alex.
Do you think?
Yes.
Now I've always been, Norma. That's never changed. I am quite high maintenance. I have no doubt about that. No doubt.
I'm not arguing with you on that one.
Thank you, Norma, I think. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still with us, tell us what you're doing for Father's Day. Again, I think, again, in the past, Norma, we would go have a big celebration. Many of us would get together in the family, have no problem going out to a restaurant. I think a lot of us this time may be hesitant about that. So if you're not doing that, or if you are doing that, please let us know. By the way, several of you have been saying hi to us. Dalia, by the way, from Mexico says hello. So it's great to say saludos a Dalia, que nos escucha y nos sigue desde México. Muchísimas gracias por estar con nosotros. Realmente apreciamos su sintonía. We really do appreciate her watching and tuning in. I'm now getting the hang of this, Norma. You scroll and you can see messages. Completely lost, Norma.
Yeah, you probably missed so many. There is quite a few. So
Completely.
You probably missed a lot.
Alex needs to go to the club since he likes talking about strippers. So there you go. I think that's what people think of me, Norma. And Norma's right too. We just lost viewers because of Alex. Wow. With friends like this, Norma, right? Who needs enemies? Wow.
Yeah. Maybe
So-
she's telling the truth, Alex.
Maybe. I'm not going to go on the stripper thing anymore, Norma. I'm just not going to do it. I'm literally not going to go there anymore.
Well, we concluded it, so I think we can move on to the next story.
I think we need to close that chapter of the show because we were we were here and then it just dove. It was over very quickly. Norma, we're coming to the end of this evening and of our first week. And literally, please, if you're watching, and I'm begging again, what do you guys think about the show? What would you like to see more of? We're planning on having guests in the future, Norma, some interviews, and just kind of growing this. But also, your interaction is huge. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you have points of view that maybe are different than ours, it's okay. Alex is right, Norma is wrong. That's the rule of the show.
Maybe they're afraid to comment, Alex.
You
They're
think?
afraid you're going to think. Yeah, I think so. That's
What?
the vibe I'm getting.
They're afraid I'm going to yell at them and grab them through the computer, grab them through the lens. That's not going to happen, Norma.
Everybody's opinion. I mean, yeah, we welcome everybody's opinion. That's just going to make us stronger, so we can talk about it, right?
Absolutely. No, and we're going to disagree in the topics. We're going to disagree about how to behave act, to respond to certain things. And that's one thing we want to do. If there's a topic of the day that's hard hitting, we'll deal with it. A lot of it will be based on sports. That's one of the anchors that we have. Norma, you're a big sports fan. This week, we found out a lot about your interaction with live sporting events. You love going to Vegas and big time fights, Norma. Would you go to Vegas anytime soon, Norma?
No.
Just no, flat out, done.
No, I'd have to wait. First, I'd have to wait to really go anywhere, just to even fly. But I'm hoping it kind of settles down, because my plans for this year was to go to Vegas, and that's not going to be happening. So I'm hoping sooner we can get to where it's steady and I can enjoy another fight, a good fight.
Who's your favorite boxer, Norma? Do you have one that you just LOVE? That spells love, by the way.
I don't have like one.
Juan Baby Bull Diaz is on your in your top five.
Well, I have to say Juan Baby Bull Diaz is he's one of my top ones.
Absolutely,
yeah.
he is.
And Ginny Fuchs is another, of course.
Of course,
she's one of my other top ones.
Ginny is there, and one day, Norma, like I said, we have to get some more guests on here and have them interact with us, and hopefully we can learn more about them. But the plan, Norma, is to keep going next week, keep doing shows around this time, 10:30 in the evening. So we'll start promoting it more in the social media. And we can't thank people enough for having tuned in and followed us. And hopefully, Norma, kind of grow our audience from here. What do you see? Where do you see the show going, Norma? Let's just talk about that. Pretend nobody's watching. Oh, well, wait, they're not. So it's just really you and me, Norma.
It's just you and I just chatting, right?
Yeah, let me just take my jacket off. It doesn't really matter, Norma.
It was, Alex, it was kind of like my homeowners meeting that I had last night.
Yes.
Well, I was the only homeowner, and they couldn't see me on the Zoom meeting for some reason. I don't know. And they're like, are there any homeowners online? And my speaker didn't work on my computer. So I'm trying to chat with them like, yes, I'm here. And they were like, I guess no one's online. So I guess it's just us.
Well,
yeah,
it's just us. It's just us, Norma. Nobody's watching anyway. And I'm kidding. There are people watching. Norma, where would you like the show to go? More entertaining, more fun, harder hitting, or a little bit of all? I guess we all have different personalities. I guess I should let you talk and stop talking.
I have to agree with Norma. I mean, it's like once you start talking, the numbers just start dropping and dropping. I just see it on our screen.
I know.
No, Alex, I'm kidding. No, I think it's a little bit of everything. A little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, of course, a little bit of seriousness. But, just getting some involvement with our followers just to see what they're thinking and getting some comments and for us to discuss it. I guess it's good for them as well. But no, I think it's great.
I think it is. I enjoy doing it, Norma. You're awesome to be around, especially this way, where we're not in the same room.
Let me record that. Oh, it's already being recorded. Say that again.
You're awesome to be around remotely because you're over there, and I don't have to worry about it.
In case you ever get mad at me, I can say, remember that day when you said, and I can replay it.
Something happened with the recording. Nobody heard that. So there's no record of that conversation, Norma Morales. Norma, well, as we wrap up, we can't thank people enough for having tolerated us this week. We really enjoyed it. Why are you laughing, Norma? Did you not enjoy it?
No, just saying people tolerated with this.
Well, tolerated me. And again, this is my favorite slide right there, Norma, where we're just able to not see Uncle Alex and see a great Photoshop picture of Uncle Alex. That's really what counts. But okay, before we go, Miss Norma, any shout outs? Anybody you want to thank that's been with us? Norma Solis, I'll call her SM. Norma SM has been with us all week. We can't thank her enough. She's a big fan of yours, apparently. Right?
Yeah, she is.
Just like that, yeah.
I think she is, yeah. That's great. It's great to have her on. She has her opinions. She tells us, she comments. So it's great. It's great to have her on.
I can now read the comments, and I'm not very happy with it. I just want her to know that.
And she's got some really funny ones, which I love. It's hilarious.
They're funny because they attack me. That's funny?
No. I think probably 100% of them are about you. So
yeah, well, it's not all about me, ladies and gentlemen. It's about Norma Morales. Norma, like we asked you yesterday, please help me out in saying goodbye to everybody. and thanking everyone that's been with us and helping us. And if I could just figure out how to do the music, I'd be a very, very happy person. So, Norma, why did you send us home, please, Norma?
Yeah, so thanks everyone for joining us tonight, and we look forward to next week. So make sure you join us.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend.
Yes,
Yep.
have a great weekend. Take care. Good night. Buenas noches. Hasta luego. Everything else that goes with that. Norma, thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with us. The rest of you have a great evening. See you next week around the same time. Thank you.